Breaking right now at noon, a huge shakeup at the top of Georgia's Democratic Party. Its chair, Congresswoman Nikema Williams, has stepped down. Williams has served in this role since 2019, and political reporter Doug Reardon is live in studio. Doug, her time ends as the party makes a key change to its rules.
Right, Lana. That rule change requires the chair of the Democratic Party to be full-time in their position. That would have made it just about impossible for Williams to serve while holding her role as a congresswoman. She had been serving as the party chair part-time. Williams did support this change, actually, and so did a lot of people inside the party. Delegates and elected leaders told us they want someone who is entirely dedicated to party affairs, and that became especially true after Democrats suffered some big losses up and down the ballot in November's general election, especially at that presidential level. Williams, because she served in Congress, also was limited in the amount of fundraising that she could do for the party, so that was another problem. She put out this statement after stepping down. She said, quote, "Through strategic vision, relentless organizing, and unwavering belief in the power of our people, we have turned this state into the battleground it was always meant to be." She went on to say, in partnership, we have turned the DPG into a national force, and I know the best is still yet to come, unquote. Now, until the party chooses a new leader, Matthew Wilson, who is the first vice chair, will serve as interim.